Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now September 4th of 2022, and not only are we getting closer to Star Wars Andor, but also The Bad Batch Season 2, and let's not forget about Tales of the Jedi, which by the way I think is the most anticipated animated series, ever since of course we got the Clone Wars. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe is that there are a lot of different things happening at the same exact time right now between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, and other creatives coming on board to really steer things in the right path to really propel Star Wars into a brand new era. Now, given that Bob Chapek is the one pulling the strings and putting everything together as we speak, there's also a lot of announcements coming our way for Star Wars Celebration of 2023, with some announcements arriving for D23 and Disney Plus Day, so get ready for that, because that's on the horizon for September 8th for Disney Plus Day, and then we have D23 kicking off on September 9th, so we got those two events back to back. Now, with that being said, however, what's even all the more exciting is exactly what Jon Favreau has in store for the future of the Star Wars universe when it comes to the Mandoverse, when it comes to other new Star Wars TV shows that are about to be introduced to the fans, and exactly how that's gonna roll into changing the sequel trilogy in several ways. And Jon Favreau actually talks about this further, dives into it a lot more, and really makes it all the more clear to the fans. So with that being said, what's even all the more exciting in a large way. Now, Favreau went on to state the following to fans. Well, we have this entire thing planned out for us, yeah, you know, and we have been taking very important stories that were told in Star Wars Legends that are going to be a main focus in our new stories. But to answer your question, yes, our new direction, it's going to have a great impact on how you view the sequel trilogy films when it involves many of those characters like Luke, Ben, Palpatine, and Rey. We are building up to something incredible that is going to change history for the Skywalker saga, and that's our goal, and with all respect to JJ and Ryan. But we want to build towards something new, and in order to do that, so we have to sacrifice some things, such as changing lore and how fans view the sequel trilogy movies. Now let me just pause here quickly for a second. The thing about the Mandoverse right now is that what they're using for shows out there like Star Wars Ahsoka, The Mandalorian Season 4, and a whole lot more, such as the Bo-Katan series is another prime example that will be announced next year. It's all gonna eventually roll into the sequel trilogy in the long run, somehow, some way, and it's gonna change the lore and the canon of the sequel trilogy movies. That's what Jon and Dave are building towards. And George Lucas gave the okay on that, obviously, you know, because George has a lot of issues with the direction of the sequels ever since Kathleen Kennedy came on board and changed everything. So now that we have Favreau really having all of his aim and focus on building all of the new Star Wars, you know, stories and the lore to impact the sequel trilogy films, is what he calls as a sacrifice. The fact that you have to make some core changes in order to regulate what you're making now and how it actually lends itself into the sequels. You know, we have already seen that, of course, everything related to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is that they're very fixated and focused on dragging Star Wars Legends into the equation. They want to make sure that they're going to be able to revive a lot of the fan favorite stories from the 1990s and the early 2000s, and how that's really going to roll out. That is all dependent on whether or not, you know, the fans are going to accept that, which I believe that they will, because, let's face it, they're very good at executing their stories properly to the point where it's just very, you know, fun to watch and very engaging. And we have seen what they did with the Book of Boba Fett, where the highlight of the show, in a very strange way, was the appearances of Luke, Ahsoka, Din, Grogu, and those are the 4 big cameos there. So, moving forward from that, he goes on to say the following. A lot of that is going to have to do with what we are building up to and how we are building up, of course, to new revelations in Star Wars Ahsoka and what I already have planned out for Mando Season 4. Now, many fans always ask me about the sequels, and one thing I will say to the fans is that I would have done it very differently and would have respected the characters more. You see, these characters like Luke, Palpatine, and others needed something more than what they received in the movies. We are building toward unveiling new secrets and revelations that will create saga-wide implications in a true sense this time around. Now, I don't mean to say that as a marketing ploy. We are really building toward reshaping the story and how it builds into episodes 7, 8, and 9. I personally cannot wait until we get to show the fans some of the wild reveals that we have already planned out, that is going to really test the audience about what they know when it comes to these beloved characters. It's something that we need to be very careful with in the process as well, and we are very mindful about that. Now, before I get to the next thing here real quick, we already know that Favreau is a respectful guy. You know, he's never going to put J.J. Abrams or Rian Johnson on blast or anything like that. And I really, value that. To have Favreau be a guy like that where he can look at the sequels, validate their issues and their flaws, but not really blast the creators. And that's really high of him. And I respect people like that, I really do. So, Favreau's just doing his thing. He's just focused on his thing. He has all the creativity in the world to experiment with. All thanks to Bob Chapek for allowing that to happen. This is a big deal, because now you have Favreau and Filoni cleaning house. And with that promotion, by the way, for those of you that don't really know about this, with Favreau's new promotion that he got about a month ago now, it allows him to make key creative choices for a lot of the upcoming material, be it books, comics, novels, video games, even the TV shows and the films, some of which that he's not even writing, he will actually have control over. All of those subjects, by the way. So basically, Favreau is acting like a president, but he doesn't have that president title, per se. So there's a lot of things going on with Favreau. He's a very busy guy, and he's really making sure that Star Wars is going to thrive and survive starting in 2023. Technically, the end of this year, because we got Tales of the Jedi, which is looking very promising. In fact, I'm more excited about that personally than the Bad Batch Season 2, I'll be honest with you all. But the Tales of the Jedi series is going to be very involved because it's an anthology show, and I think it's the fact that we're getting the first anthology series apart from Star Wars Visions that's really going to be very attractive to the Star Wars fans, because you can just jump in, watch any episode you want, you can pick and choose, and you won't be lost in the story. One of which, by the way, is going to feature a light side version of Dooku. But I digress. Favreau obviously admitting that his goal is to actually change the lore of the sequels in order to make things make a lot of sense while he's doing the Mandoverse projects. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon,